Hey, receivers. So I want to go over the 4 fundamental skills that you're going to need to be able to have to be successful in our offense. So let's take a look at each of these. Number 1, your first number 1 skill is that you need to be able to stalk block and never, ever, ever hold. Let me give you an example. If you are our open receiver and you have a corner up against you, and we are running rocket to your side, you're responsible for this man. If you have to stalk block, that means he's not up in press, and that means he's not up in zone. As you stalk block him, you approach with your toes out. We make contact with those thumbs up, and then you are going to drive him whichever way he chooses. If he goes to the inside, you just simply drive him to the inside, which is what we want. If he goes to the sideline, which he should, then you stay with him to the sideline, and that running back will run inside of you. But if he gets to a place where you're holding on like this and he's outside of your cylinder, you have to let go because you may never, ever hold.
Here it is right here. This first one right here, we're going to show how we pin a player to the sideline right here. So this is good technique right here. We're just going to pin the player to the sideline and create a lane for our back to run through right there. Next one right here is a great job. You'll see the technique on field right here of the duck walk, sinking the hips. We're going to sink the hips. Toes are pointing out. Toes are pointing out. Toes are pointing out. We're just taking the defender to the sideline. So here it is again in full speed. Sink the hips. Toes pointing out. Keep my body between him and the ball carrier. Next one right here. Different alignment, different player. Same exact technique. Release out right there and notice the toes. Toes are pointing out. Sinking the hips. Toes are pointing out. That keeps the base wide right there. And we will talk about this more later in the courses when we talk about our blocking techniques.
Second skill I need you to have. I'm swatting flies away. You have to be able to protect the ball. We are going to throw you the ball, but that means that when you catch it, it's 2 hands on the ball until you know you're going to score. Once you know that you're going to score, you can go to 1 hand, but until that, 2 hands on the ball. We can survive punting the ball. We cannot survive fumbling the ball more than twice. 2 hands. You need to be able to catch the deep pass. Now, here's the 2 deep patterns that are going to affect our receivers. Number 1 is when we run verts. If we run verts, you're the primary, and we're telling that quarterback to hit you 30 yards. Now, a 30-yard throw is one of the skills we're asking our quarterbacks to do this year. So they know that's how far they need to stretch it. You need to be able to get there in about 3.5 seconds. Now, on the backside, if, say, you were the strong receiver, you need to be able to run post. And that's also about a 30-yard throw that we're going to be asking the quarterback to make. In both of those, you don't have to be at 30 yards when the ball is in the air, but your arms need to be at about 30 yards when you're running there so you can catch it and continue to run. Finally, the third skill that you need to be able to do has to do with both of these. If you're running verts, or if you're running post and you see that they are in zone coverage, either a corner here or the safety here, you have to be able to break that off. If it's verts, you need to be able to break this off halfway and sit. If it's post and you see there's a safety still there in the middle, you need to be able to break this off halfway into what's called a dig. And when you're in those windows, you start waving your hands to the quarterback, and that quarterback better not throw into that zone coverage. If he does, we're going to ask, did the receiver sit and wave their arms? And if you say yes, you better be on film doing it. Otherwise, there's going to be some awkward conversations. So, my receivers, what do you need to be able to do? You need to be able to block. You need to be able to protect the ball. You need to be able to catch on the run, and then you need to be able to break off your routes if you see zone. Fourth skills, it's not something you can't do. Let's get after it.